Hey, hope you're having a great day. So, I'm going to show you today how to take a plant that's a little compacted and separate it out, and kind of take one that's a little too compacted and ready to get torn apart to make yourself some more plants. So I've got a couple of plants this morning for you. I got part of our snake plant family, and as you can see, the main piece off to the side here has put off lots of little guys. So we're going to take care of that real quick. And then I've also got this little guy here. He started off with one leaf. As you can see there, it's kind of died back, and we're going to take it apart, repot it, and we're going to make one pot, lots of little pots, so you can have that nice specimen piece rather than something that looks so crowded. So let's start. If you want, the easiest way with most of these guys is going to be to just pull right off the pot. And if you look, you can see the root system all around it. Now, some people are going to come in with scissors. Don't do that. Some people are going to come in with a little sharp blade. Now, this has its uses, and so does the scissors. But when it's something that's tough like this guy, like the snake plant, aloes, other succulents that tend to throw off small shoots, the best thing that I have found is just teasing it with your fingers, getting rid of all that loose dirt. Don't go away, stay. All right, sorry. Someone tried to roll right off the table. So we're gonna just take it and tweeze it a little bit with our fingers. And now if you look, you can see the base of the plant starting to come out through the dirt. What you're gonna wanna do is just tease it, just gently. Boom, look at that. One whole plant, all by itself. Plenty of roots and stuff here. Now, in the process, you'll probably have little stuff like this that breaks off. It probably won't do well. Don't give up on it though. Usually what I'll do is if I have something small like this, I'll throw it in with like the next smallest guy so that I start my own little group. So back to what I was saying. This guy started with one little leaf. And this is the leaf system. Let me try to get all of these little guys out of the way. And as you see, there's the old leaf. Everything was attached to this one piece of leaf. So keep that in mind when you're tearing it apart, that all of the roots are going to be based and touching there. So you want to try to get as much of that at the bottom as you can for each plant. Now, with these guys, they're real tough. So if you don't get a whole lot of root system, don't freak out. It's not a big deal. These guys store enough energy in their leaves and in the main part of the plant, they'll throw out more roots. If you can keep as many roots as possible, you definitely want to do so. But it's not absolutely necessary for most of these guys. Most plants are super tough. As long as you give them the same kind of environment that they were growing in, they're great. If you put them in too much light, they'll burn, just like you know? If you're used to going outside all the time, then you're probably not going to be worried about being outside for a while. But if you stay inside and you're light skinned and you just want to jump out into the sun for an hour, wear your sunblock. I get fussed at a lot. Anyway, so when you pull off your guys, again, try to get as many roots as possible. And as you'll see, there goes that main piece. And that is going to show us really good how they're attached. Again, this was just one leaf and it accidentally broke off. And I was like, let's try it. Sure enough, when it finally died back, I knew these guys are well on their way to being on their own. So now I've separated those guys out, and what I've ended up with is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decently sized pieces. And these little guys, I don't know if they'll make it, but you know what? I'm not going to give up on them. I'm going to attach them with the smallest piece here, and they're going to go in their own pot. So we've got our little pot we just used, and I like to recycle my pots. So if I get something and I've upgraded it, I hold on to my pots so that I can move them around. So with these little guys, they like drying out, and with the ones that don't really have a good root system, I'm gonna go with plastic. Tends to hold the water better, and without a root system, they need more water, but not too much water. So we're gonna just take our little dirt, Pile it in there. Take our little guy who, again, doesn't have much of a root system at all. And you can use your fingers. I like getting my hands dirty in it because I know how compact the soil is. And I'll make a little hole. Doesn't matter what you use. Fingers work great. You know, just keep that in mind. Getting your hands dirty is good, clean fun, if you will. So we'll tap him in and then tuck him in just like you would somebody in bed. You know, just, you want them to be held in so they don't move around. Now, with the little guys, you can use something, again, little scissors, something, and you're just making a little bitty hole off to the side. And this guy is so small, but he does have a little aerial root type deal going on right there. So hopefully, given enough time and the right conditions, he'll do well. But if not, we still have, excuse me, the main piece that's there. And let me throw this other little guy in. Right in beside him. And give him a little nice neat tuck. So there you go. That guy's good. Now, let's move on to the next one. And it's the same thing. Rinse and repeat, man. All you got to do, toss them in there. Now, if you've noticed, I just threw a bunch of dirt in here. Well, how am I going to get him in here? I'm not. This is just me kind of getting an idea for how much dirt I'm going to be putting in here. You can have other containers. You can dump it right back out on the ground. Ain't no big deal. So, you've got that set in there, and we're going to put our main piece that we like right back in here. And again, you just want to tuck him in. You want to be gentle to the roots because those are important in the long run. They're going to help this guy continue to grow well and make a nice little centerpiece. A lot of times you may have to backfill too. Once you start rinsing it and giving water to it, the dirt may kind of settle in a little bit more, even than you tucked it in at. And then you can just take a little more dirt and put it around the edge. I like to give like a nice little area where the pot can hold the water at the rim for about the amount that I need to water them. Some need more water than others, and some dirts need more water. I tend to use dirt that holds a little bit of water because I'm neglectful. But keep in mind, if you're neglectful, you need to stay neglectful if you're planning for it. So your cactuses and things like that need to have water, but go nice and dry in between. And your clay pots can really help with that because they tend to draw the water back out of the soil. So I'm gonna pot these guys up and I'll be right back. All right, so these are our guys. We started off with that little pot, like here, full. And now we've got 6 little plants. And we got a couple of tries in there. Let's see if they could do well. And all of that started from one little leaf cutting. And some of them do well with leaf cuttings, and some don't. You can research which plants do best with what kind of cuttings. Sometimes all you get is a little leaf or something because maybe somebody you knew had one piece fall and hit the ground and bust and whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna throw that piece away. Well, if you can take it home and put a little care into it, you can end up with your own plant. So don't be afraid to try some stuff, even if it seems like it's outside of your wheelhouse. You can always look up what's going on and watch videos. This is the way that I learned. And now I have way too many plants. But keep that in mind. That's always a chance for you to learn and save something and make something of yourself. That's a lesson for your whole life, really. Keep that in mind. All right, so back at it. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump to these snake plant pieces. Snake plants are great. Now, if you look, the pot's kind of warped. You know what that's telling me? This guy was way ready to get out of this pot. So, don't be afraid to destroy your pot. Sometimes it's more beneficial in the long run just to go ahead and get rid of the pot. That's why I like these little plastic ones. They do well like that. Now, you can pull and prod, and sometimes it'll come off, but you don't want to do so much damage. If you need to rip it off, you can always just cut that little lip right there, and this whole thing will just split in half. Again, another reason why I like these plastic pots. So, if we look, you can see how root bound this guy is. Oh man, he was throwing off all kinds of roots. And this guy was a damaged cutting. So you have this huge piece here that was damaged pretty badly, but still managed to throw off all of this. And again, they're all connected to that main piece. Now, the main piece is not dead. It is still alive. There's still lots of energy in here. If you do it right, you can always get more babies off of it. But a lot of times it takes way more effort once a plant has done this and put off babies like this to try to reuse it. What you'd have to do is kind of cut the root system off and allow it to grow some roots, and then it'll throw off more. In this case, we're gonna call this guy done. He's pretty rough and beaten up, and it's time for a rest. We're getting lots of good babies off of him, so not necessarily need to worry about that. Now, this guy's not so root bound that I need to like start cutting away roots. So again, I'm gonna kind of tease it, just twist it around a little bit. You're gonna hear some crunching, but you wanna be gentle about it. You're gonna see some dirt start to fall. That's absolutely fantastic. That means that this guy still had enough room to grow out some. Another reason why I like that plastic pot, because as these guys push against the edge, you're not getting that flat edge or conforming the plant to a shape. So let's start. Ooh, look, there he goes. All right, excellent. And this is a perfect way to show you. You see that center stalk piece there? That came off that main part of the plant. So now this guy is all by himself. And we're gonna continue to do that. Actually, might be a good opportunity to show you guys, if I can find one, that will allow me to show you exactly how it connects to the main part of the plant. Ooh, we might get a twofer on this one. All right. So, let's see if I can't show you. So you can see here, it is connected via this little root system and it is put off this shoot. Now, there's another one right behind it doing the exact same thing, but this guy was cut off flat and started to root. You can kind of see like a little lip here where the plant itself has decided, okay, this is where I need to grow roots in order to continue to survive, in order to propagate myself. So that's another reason why these guys are so awesome. They're so tough, so resilient, just like you. You can be resilient. You can keep growing. You just got to know what you're facing. So continue to pull off these guys. We'll see how many of these guys we get. I think we're going to do really good with this guy. I got another one that's going to be doing the same thing. So I can have lots of these little guys. Look at that. That's so crazy cool looking. Kind of looks like a chicken foot. All right. Oop, there we go. And another. And last one. This guy. There we go. All right. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, you can just repot this and hope that it throws off more pieces. If you look, you can see where the root system is coming, and it absolutely will try to continue to survive and grow. But like I said, this guy's pretty well beaten up and damaged. Plus, you have to make some concessions. Now, this might be a good thing to hand to somebody and say, hey, look, this is a really well-established cutting piece, and it may or may not grow out a bunch of more babies. I have found that the first time it grows them out pretty well. If you do it a second and a third time, it doesn't tend to do as good. You get less numbers of return on your in time, you know, and that's what it's about. You need to know when to call it, and then you also need to know when you can take advantage of a situation. So I'm going to repot these guys. I'll be right back. All right, and now let's see how he did. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oop, that guy's still a little loose. Let's push him back down. Give him a little nice tuck in. Not as wobbly now. Good to go. So there we have it. We got 6 little guys, and this is just to show you what they started off as, because here's another one. Look how crowded that is. So crowded. And now we've got our nice guys separated out. I think I like this one best. I don't know, for some reason, still kind of splayed out weird. Looks like a chicken foot. But it's okay to have your favorite plant. But these guys are great. Wonderful thing to grow. Snake plants produce a lot of oxygen for the size that they are. So if you have a well-lit indoor area, throw one of these guys in there. They don't have to be this type. There are many other types of snake plants. And even NASA says these guys produce enough oxygen that if you have, I think it's 7 full-size snake plants, it will produce enough oxygen for you to live and sustain yourself. But this is NASA, you know. They know better than I do. I just know that they look cool and they're fun to grow. So I'm back. I got something cool to show you. As I was repotting these guys and opened up the next one, guess what I found? I found a leaf that started its own next piece. So let me talk to you about this. If you look real close right in here, you can see where this plant had some sort of damage, either by bugs or even possibly root rot. Being too close to the plastic caused it to start to rot. But you know what? Nature and you're pretty tough. So what they did is it kind of segregated itself away from the rot and then started to grow back from its root system. And you can see pieces here that were falling away from the piece that was. So you see it rotted quite a bit, but that centerpiece was still strong enough to keep this alive to start anew. So you might think, oh, this little guy, ugh, he looks so ugly. No, this guy's awesome, just like you are. So take this guy, repot him. That's going to be a new plant soon. And it's going to look just like the other guys. Come right out. So you don't have to throw away the other guys. Your main piece may be spent, and you may not want to take the time to reroot it. But keep in mind, the little guys, they stand a chance. This little guy is going to make a whole plant that you could maybe take more cuttings off of later. So keep your eye out. There's always something cool, you know? Yeah. You know, I just thought of something. How are you guys at potting? Not that kind of pot. Smoke them if you got them. Whatever. Anyway, you know, how do you tuck in? You just throw in? What do you do? Let me show you something. So, if you've ever sifted sand through something or dropped something out, you just take it, set it in there. Now look, you got root pieces hanging out. Don't worry. Look, check this out. Just a little twist, and it all goes in. Isn't that cool? Now, take a handful of dirt, just toss it in. Get you a little bit more, toss it in. You want to make sure that you got dirt around those roots. Check this out. Just give it a little shake. See how that dirt just settled into the bottom real quick? Look, barely covered. Well, just throw some more dirt. Get your dirt in there. You see how I twisted around a little bit? Give it a good shake. Now, tuck in a little bit now that you got those bottom roots. And look, you can still see the white dirt needs to come up there, doesn't it? Watch this. This is just something that I do, and it seems to work well. Check it out. I got my hand, and all I'm gonna do is kind of feed it in as I twist it around. I might use my other finger to kind of help pull it up. Fill it in, and you can tuck a little more. Look at that. Simple and easy. With these guys especially, don't feel like you're compacting too much, because these guys like being root bound. They kind of perform good under pressure. And again, that might be something for you to think about too. Performing well under pressure. So I've only got one more left to pot up, but we've done amazing today. I've ended up with so many good plants. and they're gonna bring so many people besides myself some good life into their lives. So hopefully I can spread the love and you can enjoy. So here we are. Check that out. Look at all of that. That's 3 cuttings. You see these guys? Again, if you wanted to, you could throw these guys into another pot. You could cut them up here and reroot them, or you could just throw them back in and see if they throw off more. They did fantastic. So we've got our little ox tongue aloes here, and we've got our snake plants. Man, this ended up great. You know what? I straight forgot to show you something. I'm sorry. So, this is what those little guys were gonna turn into. This is when you get your nice specimen type. That's why you separate them out, so that you can get a really nice adult looking plant. It could potentially bloom or, you know, just pass along to someone else. So keep in mind also that they will grow little babies. So even on their own, they'll propagate. So, and another thing, this is the snake plant you'll probably see most. This one I'm getting ready to pot up because it's well past due. Again, you can see it kind of bulging through the plastic. But this brought up something else that I wanted to show you. Snake plants are interesting. They're so tough and tenacious that you can have one that looks different from the cutting. So if we look in here, you can see that this guy started really as like I think they call it a moonlight snake plant. But all the babies look like the normal snake plant. So if you get a cutting from someone, it might be variegated and it might not be variegated, but keep in mind, there's nothing wrong with it if it doesn't look like the parent plant. So let's see. We'll try to knock this guy out too. Look at that. Oh, look, that's a cool color root system. Didn't look anything like the other one. The other one was more of a white root system. This one's got that nice red-orange look. That's cool. So you can see the new ones kicking up. And let's see if we can't tease it out real fast. There we go. Now we're loosening up a little bit. All right. Oh, you're so compact. Now, this guy looks like he's just one leaf. As long as you've got like this little piece down here and a stalk, he'll continue growing out and you'll get more leaves out of the center. If you can look real close in there, I don't know if you can see the next leaf coming. So this guy's tougher than the other ones. The other ones broke out. They were ready. This guy's like, no, I'm still holding on. Look at that. That's tough. All right. Oh, there it goes. And now we've got one. Yeah. All right. Look, another little guy just hanging out there like, I'm great. I'm ready. Yep. Boom. All right. Let me see if I can't show you that main. Looks like we're not going to get quite as many off of this. Oop, there he goes. Quite as many off of this. Look at how nice that came off. Look at that. That's going to make somebody super happy. All right. Let's see. Ooh, can I show you? Can I show you without breaking it too fast? All right. There we go. Come on. All right, let's break that guy just to make some room. All right. So here's our leaf. Started as that little leaf cutting. And the leaf cuttings, you know, you can, again, repurpose them. You can cut it and start it again. However, you can clearly see that this is that moonlight snake plant. No color differentiation or anything like that. Look, it's even got a little bit of damage. That's the whole reason I got it. Just pull it right off the other plant. So when you're doing your pruning, keep in mind, clippings can make so much more. So let's pull this guy, and there we go. That's gonna make somebody so happy. Again, started off with this color, ended up with this. And that's okay. So, I figured I had to show you something a little bit more drastic than that, because plain color, light green, dark green, you know, it's not quite that pop that shows you exactly what I'm talking about. So check this guy out. Look at that nice silky smooth green. You think maybe this is where this leaf came from? You're wrong. Check this out. See that guy right there? That's the parent leaf. That guy was variegated. No variegation. None, none at all. Even in the babies, the new throw-offs, nope, nothing. Snake plants are awesome in that one fact that when they try to come back, they're gonna come back stronger. And you're thinking, what do you mean stronger? Look, this is a mutation. It's either a mutation or virus that's gone in there and caused the difference in color, okay? In that white area, it's not producing energy. So it takes the devastation from being cut and surviving that to be a stronger self. Is that a lesson for us all? Nature's really cool when it comes to lessons like that. You just gotta look for them. They're everywhere. And you know what? You're thinking probably that I'm fibbing, like that's just put in there. That's weird. Well, I'll break this guy apart and show you, maybe on another video. He's not quite full yet. You know, you can still see the pot's kind of round. There's a little bit of rooting there going on that you can see through, but he's not pushing out like the other ones are. But check this out. This is where I got the leaf for this. Look familiar? So this one had a full stem root, and it didn't. So it ended up being just like this, you know, its own full plant. So it didn't have the stresses of the other one. So as long as you've still got this center stalk and it's not just a leaf that's been cut off, you will get the same coloration that the leaf has. That's how come this guy has these little guys hanging out underneath it that are going to be just like it. So keep that in mind. If you're, especially if you're like handing it off to somebody else or giving them a clipping, because they're going to think they did something wrong, and that might discourage them. Don't be discouraged. You can absolutely have a beautiful looking plant come from a cutting from a different plant. So keep that in mind. Stay positive, guys. Let your hobbies show you what's going on in the world. All right. Have a great one, y'all.